I am continuing in my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am continuing reading in a chronological order, according to event, not according to publication or volume, so I'm skipping around a bit as I move along. We continue with the Gospels. We've been reading a lot about Christ's first Galilean ministry, where he does many miracles, preaches throughout the region of Galilee, but he has returned to Jerusalem for a new feast, which I think is the Feast of Tabernacles. He's been here for a few weeks. He healed a man at the pool of Bethesda when he first got there. 1 or 2 weeks later, he's out in the fields and it has a controversy over keeping the Sabbath again. It's a big controversy that we'll see come up a lot. And he declared himself to be Lord of the Sabbath. Now that's where we left it off. We read that in Matthew, Luke, and Mark. And now we are going to return to Matthew and read about what goes on next. He's still down in Jerusalem. In this video, we have a Joseph Smith translation. Now what the Joseph Smith translation is, this is a translation or correction done by Joseph Smith to restore those passages that have been lost or corrupted over the years. So we're going to turn to Matthew chapter 12, and we're going to read 10 through 21. And behold, there was a man which had his hand withered, and they asked him, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath days, that they might accuse him? And he said unto them, What man shall there be among you that shall have one sheep, and if it fall into a pit on the Sabbath day, will he not lay hold on it and lift it out? How much then is a man better than a sheep? Wherefore it is lawful to do well on Sabbath days. Then saith he to the man, Stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it forth, and it was restored whole like as the other. Then the Pharisees went out and held a council against him, how they might destroy him. But when Jesus knew it, he withdrew himself from thence. And great multitudes followed him, and he healed them all, and charged them that they should not make him known, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, Behold my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved, in whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he shall shew judgment to the Gentiles. He shall not strive, nor cry, neither shall any man hear his voice in the streets. A bruised reed shall he not break, and smoking flax shall he not quench, till he send forth judgment unto victory. And in his name shall the Gentiles trust. Now this prophecy is from Isaiah chapter 42, verses 1 through 3. And what the prophecy is basically saying is that Christ is not going to be preaching in the cities. He's going to be doing his ministry outside. He's going to be in the wilderness, teaching the people, and this is the fulfillment of it. He was in the city. He was in one of the synagogues, and there was a man with a withered hand, and the Jews, trying to trap him, asked him, is it good to heal on the Sabbath day? Because according to the Jews, of course, if you're a doctor, you can't tend somebody on the Sabbath, because you can't do your work on the Sabbath. I don't know if that's really how extreme they got, but you get the point. They're trying to catch him. And he points out, but you help your animals when they get in trouble on the Sabbath. Why can't you help men? And so it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath. And so he heals the man. And the Jews know that they can't do anything about it. The people are following Christ, and they know that they have no answer for him. He's pointing out their hypocrisy. And so they go out with their conspiracies again. And Christ leaves the city so that he can get away from that. Now, people follow him, and he still heals them, but he tells them, don't tell the people where I'm at. Don't spread it around, because he doesn't want the Pharisees coming out to get him yet. And so this is a fulfillment of Isaiah's prophecy, where he is preaching in the wilderness and not in the cities. But now, let us see what the Joseph Smith translation can tell us. Verse 10 just has this correction that instead of had his hand withered, it's had a withered hand. Minor correction. In verse 13, saith is changed to said, thine to thy, and unto as to as. So, like unto the other, like as the other is changed to like unto the other. Verse 15, but when Jesus knew it, he withdrew himself from thence, and great multitudes followed him, and he healed them all. Joseph Smith has this correction. But Jesus knew when they took counsel, and he withdrew himself from thence, and great multitudes followed him, and he healed their sick. So he didn't heal everybody, he healed the sick. That's a minor clarification, of course, but he knew when they took counsel. So he didn't just know that they were taking counsel, he knew when they were doing that. Interesting. Again, minor change though. In verse 17, it just shifts the phrase the prophet. So instead of spoken by Isaiah the prophet, it is spoken by the prophet Isaiah. So minor corrections, nothing of any real significance there. I'm going to leave it here, and we will read this same story again in both Luke and Mark next. So I will see you there.